Living in Nebraska is boring. It's nothing but farmland, grass, empty roads, and random animals for miles. I needed money to move away somewhere more inhabited, with better Wi-Fi, and just more things to do besides shoot things and grill steaks. Because of the uncertainty of some big animal popping out of nowhere, I always kept a gun on me. Well, in my routine session of driving for about 100 miles, I managed to find a diner. Generic name, generic paint job. It was the most generic diner imaginable. I pulled into the small parking lot, stepped out of my old pickup truck, and walked in. Inside, more of the same from the outside. Walking in, I saw a now hiring sign loosely hanging from the window. Oddly, no gun-free zones signs were hanging on the doors, windows, or anywhere on the exterior. I see you guys are hiring. Where can I apply? I said to myself. You can simply ask for the manager, mister, the waitress replied. Weirdly how she heard me, but given that the diner had 4 patrons at most, she must have heard me talk to myself. Around 7 p.m., been driving for a long time and needing a way to make money. I did just that. A muscular, tattooed, and tall man in a button-down shirt greeted me with a friendly grin and ushered me into his office space. It reminded me of a utility closet, only bigger. It was barely big enough to fit more than a Walmart office chair, a table for 2, and a file cabinet on the side. So, sir, I see you have your identification, social security card, and other essentials for this. Is this your first job, sir? The muscular man asked. It's my first full-time job. Sold odds and ends to make money, I replied truthfully. Well, sir, just need to do a standard procedure background check, so please answer truthfully, he responded, still somewhat friendly tone to his voice. I have no criminal record, sir. I answered to his statement, entirely truthful. The man introduced himself as Brian, shook my hand firmly, and looked in his filing cabinet. Well, sir, we do need spots for employees between midnight and 8 a.m. You earn $8.25 an hour, and your days are Thursday through Monday. Welcome to the crew. Just sign these papers and read the employee manual thoroughly, Brian said, firmly yet jovially. Decent paying job, nice hours. I stepped out onto a chair to read the manual. Fairly standard stuff, mostly concerning health and safety, but page 3 was something I never expected to see. It looked almost like notebook paper, crumpled up and smoothed out as best as possible against a table edge. The rules are as follows. Rule 1. If you are taking out the trash or recycling, always bring a flashlight. If none is found, inform the manager immediately. Rule 2. If you are cleaning up something outside between the hours of 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., make sure you have earbuds in and volume on maximum. The diner has free Wi-Fi. Rule 3. Under no circumstances is the back door to be opened between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. No truck delivery is ever scheduled between those hours. If truck is in the back, inform the manager immediately. Rule 4. At all times must a walkie-talkie be connected to at least 3 other walkie-talkies be worn, and never turned off. If the batteries in it die, wind up the crank on the back and inform everyone what has happened immediately. Rule 5. Once a week, a man in a tattered pair of sweatpants and sweat-stained t-shirt will come in at 2 a.m. If he asks for anything, provide it, no matter how strange or seemingly impossible. Rule 6. There should be 4 employees on shift during 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. Keep count and remember Rule 4. Rule 7. Under no circumstances should anyone open the door to a group of people greater than 5. Inform them that there is an equipment failure and go to the kitchen immediately after saying that and stay there for 15 minutes. Rule 8. If a customer comes in and mentions a weird creature in the window, use any means necessary to destroy the creature. There is a gun in the filing cabinet, and it is to be inspected for integrity if it is loaded completely. Number 9. If a rustling sound is heard from the dumpster or recycling bin in the back, use any means necessary to stop it. fire is the last resort, and a book of matches is under the counter by the cash register. Weird that such a simple place has such unusual rules, I thought to myself. I signed the papers and went back to Brian to inform him. He was busy with a call and took the papers without skipping a beat. Sir, your first day is this Thursday, so 2 days from now. Please head to the door on the right, and there should be a clean uniform, hat, and walkie-talkie for you, Brian said quietly enough for the other person on the other end of the phone not to hear. I looked for a shirt my size and a hat that fits my head. A few minutes of searching later, I found them. I thanked Brian for the job. Walking out, an employee noticed the walkie-talkie on my hip and shook my head, almost as if he knew what was going on. Thursday eventually came, and I arrived to the diner at 1:45. Had my gun on me, so my phone was at full battery and a backup set of batteries for the walkie-talkie. Beast took a C battery, so it was pretty heavy. I carefully reread the rules to remember them to the letter, and night shift manager introduced herself. Name's Julie, new guy. Don't get too ahead of yourself, and don't fuck around, she said harshly. I'm Hank. Pleased to meet you, I retorted sarcastically. The other employees, a cook with a wide scar over his eye resembling a horse hoof with chunks of metal embedded in it, introduced himself as Jeff. A older, roughly 35-year-old woman with cheap makeup on introduced herself as Henrietta. Well, moments passed. It's 12:05. We have another 8 hours ahead of us, so just follow the rules and get to work. Julie barked coldly, putting earbuds in her ears and playing music fairly loudly. Jeff simply made himself a cup of coffee and time flew by. Eventually it became 2:30. Soon after, a faint knock on the back door was heard. Jeff simply fried an egg while dicing some onions, and Julie was far from even caring about the noise. I looked at the paper with the rules on it. Between 3 and 5 a.m. It's 2:40. So who could it possibly be? I asked myself, curious. A loud mechanical clink came over the walkie-talkie. Julie's uncaring voice came over it. Don't open it. Remember Rule 6, new guy? How could I have forgotten? Must have been too wrapped up in dealing with the trash. I only had 10 minutes to deal with it, so I power-walked to the dumpster. The hell is that Shit, I muttered, grabbing my walkie-talkie hastily. New guy, it better be important. You got 8 minutes to get back, Julie groaned at the sound of loud rock music. Something in the dumpster. You got a gun, don't you? Rule 9. Also, you did follow Rule 1. Didn't you? Oh man, Rule 1. As I muttered that, a raccoon poked its head out and scurried off, carrying a half-eaten toast in its mouth. Something peculiar about that raccoon, though. Don't know what. Jeff's walkie-talkie was making mechanical clinks and worse. Hank, you all right out there? You gotta finish what you're doing, quick, and hurry back. Unspoken rule, kid. I just threw the trash bag in the dumpster. Ran back inside, slammed the heavy wooden board, locked down, and checked the time. 2:59. Nearly 3 hours, and only a single customer who had asked for an omelet with spinach and cheese. Nothing else unusual happened for the shift, so I simply did my duties, drove home, and went to bed. Hopefully tomorrow will be different.